Hey Toy fans, D21 Beast Rob here. I've redone all of my collection shelves recently and put up all of my Marvel Legends comic book themed action figures. I think I've got a pretty cool collection and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Alright, so coming in here from the top, you can see I've still got my box Legend figures. If you guys have seen my videos before, you might remember this signed Phasing Ghost Rider variant figure signed by Ghost Rider creator Gary Frederick. Really enjoy having it as part of my collection. And then over here we've got the Hasbro Human Torch and Invisible Woman Legends figures. I'm going to keep those in the box until I get the Thing and the Reed, and then I'll finally get them all out and pose them all together. We've got my X-Men shelf here at the top. You can see there is the Toy Biz Archangel flying in on the top there. We've got the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse and the Build-A-Figure Sentinel in the back. Iceman and X-23 are hanging out on the Sentinel. But then as we come here from left to right, you can see we've got Nightcrawler, Magic, Phoenix, Xavier, Cyclops, Brown Wolverine, the Toy Biz Havoc, Bishop back there, looks like he's just falling forward a little bit, Polaris, Cable, Sasquatch, Deadpool in the back there, Warlock, Shadowcat, Shatterstar, Cannonball, Hope Summers, Rachel Gray, Banshee, and coming along on the front, we've got Longshot at the bottom, Pyro, the new X-Men era Sentinel, Beast in his lab coat from the X-Men box set that Toy Biz released, Dark Phoenix from the Toys R Us 2-pack. That Cyclops you saw over here is also part of that same 2-pack. We have Toy Biz Sabretooth, and then the Black Ops Mystique from Hasbro, Dazzler, Lady Deathstrike, the awful Hasbro Emma Frost, Quicksilver, Zorn, Magneto, Onslaught, finally with the actual Magneto head on top, the Mr. Sinister, and then of course, as I said, Iceman and X-23 are there at the top, and then Blob in the back, and I still don't have Blob hands, and then Strife. So that's the entire X-Men shelf. Sorry about the few repeats there. Coming down, we then have probably the only shelf you'll see that one isn't going to be Marvel Legends, but I still think it's pretty interesting. We've got the X-Men Evolution action figures, as many as I have in my collection, and then kind of mixed in around all of those guys are my Juggernaut collection. So you can see there's the X-Men Evolution Juggernaut in the back, and then in the bottom, the Mystery Funko Juggernaut in the center, the Hero Squad Juggernaut off to the left, and then, of course, Juggalosis or Colossonaut, whatever you want to call them. The Light Wars Juggernaut, the first Toy Biz Juggernaut figure, Hasbro Juggernaut, X3 Juggernaut, Build-A-Figure Juggernaut, Diamond Select Juggernaut, and then in the back, there's actually the Toy Biz Juggernaut figure from Marvel Legends, Marvel Select Magneto, and then of course the X-Men Monster Armor figures that I'm a big fan of. And then just a Hero Squad Nightcrawler. He actually came packaged with that Hero Squad Juggernaut figure. So there's the, I don't know, it's an X-Men shelf, but it's not Legends. It's got some Legends in it. Coming down, then we are back to Legends here. You can see on the left-hand side, I have all of my Hydra agents battling the two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents I've got. So I've got one set as Nick Fury, one just as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and of course they're taking out Madam Hydra. And then I never finished the Mandroid, so there he is battle damaged towards the bottom. To the right, I have X-Force, Uncanny X-Force rather. Of course, Warpath wasn't part of this incarnation of the team, but he's the X-Force color, so I'm going to have him there. There's the HasCon exclusive Deadpool that I was very lucky to get from Tommy recently. So nice, fun little display there. Coming down, we've got my villain shelf. A lot of stuff going on here. On the left-hand side, you can see in the back, two of the Wrecking Crew. I'm still missing the other two. We've got Bulldozer and Pile Driver in the back, and then two of the Serpent Society. So still need to get Eel, and I'll be looking for King Cobra in 2018. Of course, the Spider-Man Classics Tarantula. There's the Target 3-pack Ultron, and then Claw on the bottom. There is Arnim Zola. The other Target exclusive 3-pack Radioactive Man and Tiger Shark in the back. There's the Toy Biz Baron Zemo. I don't actually have a Hasbro Baron Zemo. There's Marvel Select Doom with the throne that he came with. Doom is not in scale for Marvel Legends, but his throne is pretty incredible, and if you sit him down in it, he kind of blends in all right with the rest of these guys. And then Enchantress is in front of him. Then we have our Mercenaries here. Batroc the Leaper, Taskmaster, Demolition Man or Scourge, whatever you want to call him. Bullseye in the back, and then of course Nuke. And then off to the right, we've got the Dark Avengers. Dakin, Norman Osborn, Iron Patriot, Sentry, the Bullseye Hawkeye, and then just a Toy Biz Venom figure in the back. The bottom shelf on this side, I kind of ran out of, I don't know, characters to build up a theme here. I was going for Supernatural. On the left side, we've got Dormammu and Morbius, and I think that's Jack-O-Lantern, not Mad Jack. And I put Superior Venom there because he just didn't fit on my Spider-Man shelf. To the right, Man-Thing, Blade, Ghost Rider, Nico Minoru, Brother Voodoo, and then the best version of a Hasbro Doctor Strange we've received so far, at least a comic book version. And then we're going to back out here. If we come to the center, if you guys haven't seen my previous videos, I do have a pretty cool, I think, X-Men First Class poster. But then below that, we have the Utopia X-Men team. So I love that Hasbro is giving us those particular costumes. I hope we get a few more of them, and I wish that Namor would have come with an X belt buckle instead of just a standard Atlantean belt buckle. But then, of course, Magneto off to the left side of that with Colossus, Wolverine, and Cyclops. They're on one of the Toy Biz Sentinel bases. To the right of that, my ode or my homage to X-Men the Animated Series, White Storm, Rogue, Toy Biz Gambit, the 90s Jim Lee Cyclops that just came out, the 90s Jean Grey, there's Toy Biz Beast, still an incredible figure all these years later, and then the X-Men Classics Tiger Stripe Wolverine. This figure may finally get replaced next year as part of the Apocalypse Wave, but so far, in my opinion, it's been the best Tiger Stripe Wolverine we've ever received in Marvel Legends scale. And of course, I've got a Toy Biz Sentinel base below Beast. Below that, Iron Man. I was a big fan of the Iron Man cartoon growing up, so what I have here is Tony Stark in the workshop. You can see we've got some Stark banners, satellite banners in the back, just different suits of armor, kind of in his Hall of Armor display that I've kind of put together. War Machine's there, the Marvel Now Iron Man, the Iron Man based off the animated series, the modular armor, the Bleeding Edge, again Hulkbuster, and then the first armor off to the right. And then here in the center, we've got Tony Stark working on the Neo Classic armor, and he's got some pieces out around him so he can kind of put his suit together how he wishes. And then to the right, a bunch of villains that I associate with Iron Man because of that classic cartoon. Ironmonger, Ultron, Titanium Man, the Mandarin, Blizzard, and Whirlwind. And then I have the face for MODOK. I have probably no hope of ever finishing that Build-A-Figure, but man, that head just looks so good, I had to put it on display. Below that is my Cosmic Shelf. As you can see here, these guys are actually standing on the Diamond Select Ghostbusters rooftop display base. It's only a good chunk of it, it's not the whole thing, but makes for a nice display base for Marvel Legends, I think. Could look a little prettier in the front. But from left to right, Darkhawk, the Annihilus Build-A-Figure, Captain Marvel, Nova, Agent Venom, Star-Lord, Rocket, Drax, Groot, Gamora, Angela, Thanos, and Terrax, one of my all-time favorite Build-A-Figures. I just think that's such a perfect rendition of that character. Coming up to the top, on the right side, at the top I've got the only other box legend I've got besides the three you've already seen, the 25th anniversary Wolverine, just a silver remold of the Toy Biz Brown Wolverine figure. I don't see any need to ever open that. I doubt it's ever going to be worth anything though. And then just for fun, I've got X2 Nightcrawler up here on his stained glass window, and then of course the Roto Nightcrawler. Then coming down, we have the Avengers. I basically made this a shelf of people who had served on the team at one point or another. Sorry for the little shaky cam there. But as we move in, you can see from left to right, we got Hellcat, Hercules, and Odin going back. In the front, some pretty much Avengers mainstays with Miss Marvel, then Captain America, the Series 1 Toy Biz Iron Man, and Black Panther. That Black Panther on the right was a great figure. So glad we got that as a Walmart.com exclusive. There's so many things you can do with it as far as how you want to make them look. And then the Toy Biz First Appearance Hulk, still my favorite Hulk figure. I know that's not a popular opinion. Bucky, the Asgardian Armor Thor, the Target 3-pack White Vision, Spider-Woman, Mockingbird, Yellow Jacket, She-Hulk. I'd love to get the new one from that Toys R Us box set, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Machine Man, Black Knight, and actually Deadpool in there for fun. I had a space on the shelf. Wasp, White Iron Fist, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange without his Cloak of Levitation, Kate Bishop Hawkeye, one of my favorite Marvel Legends and one of my favorite comic characters of recent years. And then I just have Vision here floating. I think that looks all right. I could use some better flight stands for sure. And then coming down, the Spider-Man shelf. Now this one is partially unchanged from the last time you guys may have seen it, but I've done a few new things with it as well. On the left, there's the Humberto Ramos Hobgoblin, Electro, Venom, Kraven, Rhino, Classic Hobgoblin, Spider-Man Classics Lizard, Marvel Legends Carnage, Chameleon. There's the Toy Biz Mysterio. I cannot wait for Hasbro's take on this figure. I wish his gloves would have been yellow instead of green, but still really looking forward to that figure. This Toy Biz one looks okay, but the Hasbro one looks a lot better. Black Cat, Jackal, Hasbro Classic Green Goblin. We have Jonah. In the front, I've got Doc Ock, and he's kind of grabbing at Spider-Man, and then these guys were all posed for a picture, but now they're kind of distracted and trying to help Spider-Man get away from the tentacles. Spider-Girl, Mayday Parker, Scarlet Spider, Black Suit Spidey, Anti-Venom, Spider-Man 2099, the original version, Sandman's in the back there, Spider-Girl Anya Corazon with Spider UK because, you know, they're a team, and then Superior Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, the new Spidey 2099, the Kane Parker Spider-Man, or Scarlet Spider rather. And there's Luke Cage, and then over here on the front I've got Iron Fist. I still don't have a Hasbro Luke Cage. Maybe I'll get that box set from Amazon before too long. And then the Sinister Six, the Superior Foes of Spider-Man, Boomerang, Speed Demon, Shocker, excuse me. And there's the Silver Mane on the car. I just ordered now on Amazon Lady Beetle, so I'll be able to build that team out a little bit more and be ready for Overdrive should he ever get released. Below the Spider-Man shelf. Oh, and on this shelf as well, like we saw with the Guardians, the bases that these guys are standing on are once again Diamond Select Ghostbusters Rooftop display base pieces. These are fantastic for displays. So if you guys have those figures or if you see them on clearance, you might want to pick them up so you can get some nice display pieces for your shelves. Below that, we've just got kind of, well, the Avengers, or the big three rather, the Trinity of Marvel from around Secret Invasion, Bucky, Cap, the Return of Thor, and then the Extremis Armor Iron Man. In the center, the Secret Avengers. I believe it was Rick Remender who wrote this book. And I know that Captain Britain wasn't on the team at the same time as a lot of these other guys, but they're all Secret Avengers characters. So we've got Black Ant, War Machine. I've used the Toy Biz Mr. Fantastic coat on Giant Man. I think it looks pretty nice on him. Captain Britain, Steve Rogers, Valkyrie, Moon Knight, the modern version, and of course Sharon Carter. And then to the right, the Toy Biz Fantastic Four box set with Franklin and Herbie in the front. And I went ahead and threw Thundra in the back because she made her first appearance in that book and I didn't really know where else to put her. And then coming down, we've got a couple of other specialized teams. New Fantastic Four with the Stan Lee Spidey, the Brown Toy Biz Wolverine, first appearance Grey Hulk, and then the Danny Ketch Blue Ghost Rider. To the right, the all-new Avengers. Have yet to pick up the Lady Thor figure, but I definitely have my eye on her. There's Miles Morales, and then Sam Alexander Nova, Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, the wingless Captain Falcon, and then the Uncanny Avengers / all-new Avengers Vision figure. And then to the right, this one's a little more sloppy. Havoc and Sunfire, the sleeveless Thor, Toy Biz Wolverine from the X-Men box set, and then a more modern-looking Captain America. Of course, that's the Avengers Unity Squad from Uncanny Avengers. Could use a few more characters. And then down here at the bottom, I couldn't figure out where to put my Punisher figures. I like both of these quite a bit. Toy Biz one I still think is a phenomenal figure, but the Hasbro Walgreens exclusive Punisher could have used some trigger fingers, and maybe I'll get that retro Punisher that just came out so I can switch the hands out, but still some pretty good Punisher figures. Got a bit of a legacy of Wolverine here with Weapon X Wolverine from Toy Biz, and then the Old Man Logan from Hasbro that came out recently. And then to the right, of course, Ultimate Marvel characters. Ultimate Spider-Woman, Ultimate Wolverine, that looks horrendous, Ultimate Iron Man, and then the Build-A-Figure Ultimate Green Goblin. So those are all of the comic figures I was able to get on shelves. As you can see here, we'll just take another quick look at all of them. Lots of figures here, almost 300 Marvel Legends figures, all said and done. But then there were still some that I couldn't actually find a spot for, so here on the floor you can see Cable, first appearance, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Marvel Knights Green Goblin, Toy Biz Doctor Doom. There's Phoenix and Iceman and Colossus and Cyclops and Iron Fist and another Cyclops and the Renegade Cyclops, and then the Hasbro Red Deadpool. Poor Red Guardian. I just couldn't find a spot for him on my shelves. I don't know what I'll do with him. And then a second Sasquatch that I've got, and then the original Hasbro Drax figure. So those are all of the comic-themed Marvel Legends heroes that I've got in my collection. I do have a few more Marvel Legends figures. Maybe I'll show them at another time. Of course, you don't see any movie figures here, and I've got plenty of those. So, but thanks for joining me today, guys. Let me know in the comments below which figures you thought were the coolest, or which displays you like, or ideas, or what ideas you might have for me display-wise moving forward. So, thanks for joining me. You guys can catch up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.